Let's go ahead now and create a shadow. To do so, we're going to add an object that will give us the ability to actually have it cast shadows onto our object or our image here. So I changed my color back to a bright color. Don't forget, guys, you can always twirl this open, go to your light options and click on this swatch here, or you can simply double click on the name of the light and change it by clicking on this swatch. Let's now add a solid by going to Layer, New, Solid. I'm going to go ahead and say Make Comp Size, and I'll click OK. Now you might be wondering, well, I don't see a solid. Well, don't forget, everything that is going to be in 3D has to be turned into a 3D layer. So currently, we have to click on this guy, and now we can see that solid. See, it's off now, and now we see it again. I'm going to grab these handles here and scale the solid. Let me go down and just squash this guy a little bit. And I'm going to pull the Z handle so that the solid is away from the elephant. I'm also going to show you that we have a camera tool up here called the Unified Camera. And inside this camera are a couple of tools you might want to use when you're trying to manipulate your camera. For example, with the Orbit camera, I can click and orbit the camera around to see different angles of my scene. So here's the artwork, here's the solid, and there's the light. I'll go back to my regular selection tool, and what we have to do is turn on the properties for the different objects so that they cast shadows. So let me just scale this down just a little bit more. Okay, so on the solid, let's go ahead and twirl that guy open. And under the material options for the solid, you see that we have a cast shadows property, and currently it's off. So click and move your mouse to the right, and that will turn the property on, so this guy will now respect this light. But now the light has to cooperate. So we have to go to the light properties and go to its options, and you'll see that we have the cast shadows property is off. So once again, click and turn it on, and kaboom, you now have a shadow. Let's grab our Orbit tool again, and you see the shadow is on the artwork. I'm going to grab the Track Camera tool and move this over a little bit like so. You can move it up and down as well. You also have a Track Z camera, so you can go in and out by moving your mouse up and down. And once again, I'll go back to my regular selection tool. If I move the light around, notice the shadow moves. And if I click on the solid, notice that the shadow moves as well. And actually, I clicked on the artwork, so let me grab the solid. I can go ahead down here and click on it. And there we go. So no matter what I actually click on, the artwork, the solid, or the light, the shadow moves in a realistic fashion. I also have the ability, by the way, to always soften those shadows. So I can go to the diffusion property and I can drag it, and you see the shadows getting softer. I can make the shadow darker or lighter. And once again, I can go to that cone for the light itself if I need to, and I can soften the edge of that circle that projects on the artwork. So we can give a nice feather effect to the cone itself. So that is how you can add shadows. Don't forget, you have to enable the ability to cast shadows and to cast shadows on your light and the target